Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. So we get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, with news about some crazy housing markets. But first, groundbreaking on US single-family housing projects surged in September, pointing to sustained housing market strength even as a drop in construction of multifamily units pushed overall building activity to an 18-month low. Building permits for future housing starts, however, were up 8.5% from the same month a year ago. The Atlanta Fed's real-time forecasting tool today raised the estimate of US economic growth to 2% for the September quarter. And China already has their official growth forecast published for the September quarter. They say the world's second largest economy grew 6.7%, which just so happens to be the official target. Released at the same time were details of retail sales growth, said to be up 10.7% from a year ago, and electricity consumption said to be up 6.9%. Electricity production had been only growing at a modest level most of the past year, but has really ramped up from July. China's tax revenue is growing far slower than the economic data shows. In September, it grew just 4.9%. Attempts by Chinese authorities at both city and national levels to take some of the heat out of a crazy housing market don't seem to be working. The value of China's new home sales rose more than 60% in September from a year ago, defying the policymakers' moves. This increase compares with a 33% gain the previous month. Residential transactions have surged and at least 21 cities have introduced purchase restrictions and toughened mortgage lending since late September, reversing 2 years of easing to support buyers. And speaking of crazy real estate markets, Bloomberg is featuring one today, Queenstown. And early today, the Bank of Canada has cut its forecast for the Canadian economy again, blaming a combination of sluggish exports, the crackdown on risky mortgage lending, and nervousness about the American election. The darker outlook comes as the central bank kept its key interest rate unchanged on Wednesday at an ultra-low 0.5%, where it's been since July 2015. In New York, the US Treasury 10-year yield is slightly lower at 1.74% today. Saudi Arabia has launched a $24 billion bond sale early today in what is the largest ever emerging market bond issue. It is the kingdom's first international bond sale, a bid to support its sweeping effort to get its economy afloat as oil income dwindles. The US benchmark oil price is higher today by nearly $2 a barrel, now just under $52 a barrel, while the Brent benchmark is just under $53 a barrel. This is near a one-year high. The gold price is up $6, now at $1,269 an ounce. New Zealand dollar is higher too, at 72.3 US cents, though on the cross rate it has had a small pullback against the Aussie to 93.6 Aussie cents. But it is up against the euro at 65.9 euro cents. The New Zealand TWI is at 76.1. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.